For science today, we're going to keep talking about the seasons, and we're going to talk about each one individually today. And we're also going to do reading out of our science textbook. So please, if you have your science textbook, this is the time to get it out. And we are going to start on page 153. 153. All right, at the top of the page it says the seasons. If you could take your tracker finger and make sure that you're going with me, this is going to help you to recognize some words. God gave us seasons. In Genesis 8:22, God promises that there will always be seasons. The seasons change. God designed seasons to be a cycle. Winter changes to spring, spring changes to summer, summer changes to fall, and fall changes to winter again. If you look here, I made a cycle. This looks really similar to life cycles or cycles of plants and things like that. So we always start the year in January. We're always in winter. And winter, if you follow the arrow, winter will always change into spring. And right now, that's exactly where we are in our seasons. We are in spring. Spring will always change into summer. And summer is that wonderful time when you get a break from school and whenever you get to go to the beach and do things that you can only do in summertime. Summer will always turn into fall. And fall, of course, is when we have holidays like Thanksgiving and Halloween, and whenever the leaves are changing and the air starts to get cooler. And then fall will always turn into winter. And then once we get back to winter, that cycle starts all over again. And we go through our seasons just like this. We're never going to go from winter to summer. Spring has to happen first. We're never going to go from spring to fall. We always have to have summer after spring. And then we can have fall. So God has made the earth to be consistent and the same with our seasons in that way. All right, turn your page to page 154 and we're going to read some more. I like this page. I think it's a really pretty page. All right, make sure your tracker finger is up and ready and you are pointing at the top of page 154. Winter. Winter comes after fall. Winter begins in December. The earth is tilted away from the sun. The amount of daylight is shortest during winter. This makes winter the coldest season. Sometimes snow falls. Winter is a time of resting. Many trees have lost their leaves. Some plants die. Other plants rest. They will start to grow again in spring. So winter is in the beginning of the year or in December. We're Christmas, and then it turns into the new year and we're still in winter time. It's the shortest, the sun hours, the hours that the sun is out is shortest during winter, and that's why it's the coldest, because we have less heat coming from the sun. All right, we're going to go to the next page. It's going to tell us a little bit more about winter. 155. God designed animals to survive during winter. Some animals grow thicker fur to stay warm. Some animals have fur that changes color in winter. Some animals sleep through winter. All right, if we look at this picture down at the bottom, you see a summer fur. That is the brown fur. That's what the bunny looks like during the summer. And as it starts to cool off into fall, and then finally it's winter time, the bunny's fur changes white. Why do you think the bunny's fur is going to change white whenever it's in winter time? Did you know that God made some animals that their color of their fur changes to match where they live? So this brown bunny during summer and springtime, its fur is brown because you have the trees and you have the ground and all of that is the same color. And then as it gets into fall and winter, Especially in winter, the snow falls and everything around the bunny now is white. So the bunny can hide if it needs to in the snow, and it won't be seen if it's the same color as the snow. All right, let's turn the page. Now we're going to talk about spring. This is page 156. Spring. Spring comes after winter. Spring begins in March. The amount of daylight gets longer. The temperature becomes warmer. Spring rain comes. Spring is a time of planting seeds. The rain helps the seeds grow. Flowers grow. Trees grow new leaves. So springtime is a time for growing, it's a time for planting seeds, it's a time for everything to be born again, made new again. And that's one of the reasons why Easter is such a happy holiday, is because not only is the earth showing growing and new life, but it's also when we celebrate whenever Jesus rose again from the grave, and now we can have new life through him. Let's go to 157. Baby animals are born in spring. Birds build nests and lay eggs. Bees buzz around flowers. The fur of some animals change color in spring. So, we are seeing like little chicks be born, and little baby bunnies being born, and little baby horses being born, and their fur is starting to change color again in spring. So spring is a happy time full of new life. Okay, now we're going to go to page 158, and this is a little bit of a extra thing for you, talking about STEM careers. Now, a lot of you have been doing STEM activities on Friday, and here is a career that is also called a STEM career. So let's read about that. That's on page 158. Landscape architect. A landscape architect is a type of engineer. A landscape architect helps people design their yards. He can design parks and gardens. He measures the space. He chooses the right plants for that environment. He can use rocks and fountains. He draws a plan of his idea. He shares his plan with others. So if you look at the bottom of page 158, it'll show you a picture of a landscape architect drawing a plan for a place that he's going to build his garden or his park. So if any of you are interested and you think it's really cool to have a garden and to make it beautiful, or when you go to the park and you see how nice the park looks, that is a job that some people have called a landscape architect. And so he needs to know about the seasons, and he needs to know about the plants that grow during each season, so he doesn't plant the wrong plants for that place. So that's how it matches our lesson for seasons. All right, let's get to page 159, and we're going to read about summer. Summer comes after spring. Summer begins in June. The earth tilts toward the sun. The amount of daylight is longest in summer. This makes summer the hottest season. It's getting the most time of the sun, and that's why it's the hottest. So at the bottom of that page, it has a little check mark that says, is daylight long or short in summer? And if you were listening and reading, you would know that it is long in summer, long summer days. I see in those pictures a sunflower, those grow in summer. I see some kids having some lemonade at a lemonade stand, and a boy playing on a slip and slide. So those are all summer activities. Let's go to page 160 and read a little bit more about summer. Summer is a time for growing. Plants grow bigger. Some trees and bushes grow fruit. Vegetables grow and become ripe. Baby animals eat and grow. Baby birds begin to fly and leave their nests. So all the new life that started in spring, when you move into summer, it gets bigger and it gets riper, the vegetables and the fruits do, and the baby animals that were born in spring are now growing up, and they're going to be adults soon. So summer is just continuing the new life and the growing that started in springtime. All right, now let's read about fall. That's on page 161. Fall comes after summer. Fall begins in September. The amount of daylight gets shorter. It gets dark earlier. The temperature gets cooler. Plants change in the fall. Some leaves change colors. Some leaves fall to the ground. Some plants stop growing. Fall is a time of harvest. It is a time to pick fruits and vegetables. So all that growing from spring and summer, and now it's a really good time for you to harvest all of those things that you planted. So fall time is a time for harvest, and it's a time for things to start winding back down and getting a little slower and getting a little cooler, and the sun starts to get a little shorter. Let's read some more on page 162. Some animals gather food for winter. Other animals move to a new place. They go to a place that has more food. They go to a place that is warmer. The animals will return in spring. Now this is called migration. So if other animals move to a new place during fall time because they know it's about to get really cold, so they want to go somewhere that's warmer, and they store up some food, or they go to a place that has more food, and they'll come back to their home whenever it's springtime and it's not cold anymore. So that word for animals that move right before winter, that's called migration. All right, guys, well, I think we're going to stop there, and we're going to take a look at your one of your worksheets for today. The first one I'm going to show you is not required for you to turn it in, but you can work on it and it'll just help you remember the cycle of the season. So I'm going to read that for you real quick, and then we'll go over the worksheet that is due today, okay? So here's a fun worksheet. I like all the colors on this worksheet. But the first one is the season, the orange one is the temperature, the blue one is the daylight hours, and the green one is the time. So I did one for you. This is winter, and this comes after fall. In our cycle, winter always comes right after fall. The temperature is the coldest during winter. The daylight hours are the shortest during winter, and winter is a time of rest. Okay, so you're going to, if you have time and you would like to fill this sheet out, excuse me, then you fill in spring, summer, and fall. And then the back side just talks about the Bible verse for this chapter and God's promises in that Bible verse. So our Bible verse is, while the earth remain in seed time and harvest, and cold and heat, and summer and winter, and day and night shall not cease. If something is not ceasing, that means it is not stopping. So in Genesis 8:22, God's promise is that we will always have seasons. We'll always have the cycle of the seasons. All right, our next one is our study guide, and this one is the one that's due today. So I'm just going to read the questions out loud to you, and I have you fill it in, okay? Circle yes if the sentence is correct. The earth revolves around the moon. Yes or no? The earth's tilt causes seasons. Yes or no? The earth's revolving around the sun causes seasons. Yes or no? Draw a line to match the word to the definition and use the glossary if needed. The glossary is in the back of your science book. That's going to help you with words that you may not know, okay? This is revolve, tilt, and season. All right, this one just asks you to read the thermometer. So this side is F, the Fahrenheit side, and the Celsius side. You fill both of those in. All right, number 9. The earth takes 1 year or day to revolve around the sun. A thermometer is a tool that measures time or temperature. The thermometer's red line will go down when the temperature gets cooler or hotter. Temperature is how short or tall something is, or how hot and cold something is. And then this one, you'll just number the seasons in order. Remember, first we have winter, then what comes after winter, what comes after spring, what comes after, like, you go around the cycle and put the numbers in their order.